Rising Rock is a multimedia storytelling class here on our campus, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. This Thursday, we'll share the latest showcase of stories by Rising Rock students from this past semester. Billy Weeks teaches the class in UTC's communication department. I spoke with him and 4 Rising Rock students, Alexis Carpenter, Miller Richardson, Maya Spratley, and Connor Spelta.
We're happy to present this semester's audio stories about exciting things happening in Chattanooga. We've got stories that range from seniors playing basketball all the way up to how to give blood from your pet to help another pet. And it's real exciting to hear the confidence of the reporters and the stories that they have gathered from the Chattanooga area.
Let's talk to some of the students on the team, starting with you, Alexis.
I'm the editor of Rising Rock, the head editor, technically. My team focused our second team story on senior basketball. So it is a pickup basketball team at the Hamilton YMCA, where the person we interviewed was John Hendrickson. He is the 3rd oldest on the team, and he is originally from Chicago. He came here to Chattanooga and didn't have any friends to start with, so he started with joining this pickup team, and then to get closer to the guys on the team, he invited them to places like McDonald's or to a coffee shop or to his house for Easter dinner in order to make more friends, and he has been there ever since.
And Miller, tell us more about your role in the class.
I'm just on one of the teams this year. I'm not an editor, but I am spearheading the Rising Rock Showcase this year, so I'm gathering all the information, putting it together into the showcase, and kind of helping produce it. And one of the stories, my team's story, we did on the Animal Blood Bank here in Chattanooga, a veterinary care and specialty group. It was super cool. It was a really fun interview I got to do. I got to speak with operations manager at the blood bank and talk to her about some of the really cool opportunities happening over there and talking about things I didn't even know existed, like animal blood banks and animal blood donation. Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really exciting time, and I'm really excited for people to hear the story.
And Connor, how about you?
One of my favorite stories that my team did this semester was called Revolution of Redirection, and we talked with a local nonprofit called Streetworks. They kind of focus on meeting the immediate physical needs of sex workers in Chattanooga, and it's kind of an often overlooked thing in our city, but we are like a hub for sex trafficking. And we talked with a woman named Rachel about her experiences being trafficked in Chattanooga with addiction and how she's kind of, through help from Streetworks, been able to make a positive change in her life.
And Maya, how about you?
I was actually over the team that Miller worked with, so we focused a lot of our stories towards animals. So getting to hear her talk with the blood drive has been really incredible to know about all of these opportunities that we have within Chattanooga for our pets.
And how did you develop these stories, which begin in multimedia form and you present in audio form to us here at WUTC?
The way it starts is, of course, we reach out to these people and find somebody who can start the story, and then we go from there to find all of the different people who make up whatever the story is. So with our story, we had a bunch of different guys who made up this team. And we found the oldest person, we found the youngest person, we talked to the most recent person who joined the team. And the reason we chose John Hendrickson for our story was because he's kind of the person who made it more of a family and a friendship rather than just meeting for sports to play. And because of him, we felt that this audio story would be more emotional and heart-pulling, and it was also really funny. They are so awesome to listen to, and listening to him, you can just feel the story that has come from this team.
And then when it comes to the other stories, talk more about how you develop them.
For the blood bank story, one of the girls on our team had an idea. She was the one who first originally brought it up. We kind of try to separate our audio stories from our main written stories to kind of have all different aspects of the overall story we're trying to tell. We originally were going to do the blood bank as our main focus, but she decided to switch, and after we started researching more about this clinic, found out a lot of other opportunities they have and that go on at that clinic. So we focused on that with our written piece and our video, and then I took on the blood bank side, and so I reached out to the clinic, was talking to people, and I actually got lucky that the operational manager was actually here on campus at UTC the same day we were doing the blood donations just for humans on campus. And so I was able to meet with her and speak with her about that. And then that story grew on its own. And once you start speaking to these people, a lot of times it just goes deeper than you really originally thought, and it makes the story better and gives you more of an insight of what you're learning about and what you're talking to them about.
For our story, I just kind of want to add that things aren't always so straightforward. As Billy always says, sometimes things happen. Sometimes it seems like every time something happens. On our streetwork story, we found out pretty early that no men were allowed to go to the house, and that was like half of our team. So we kind of had to shuffle around roles, and people had to take on things that they weren't really familiar with. Our audio story is made by Ella Soul. It's her first time taking this class. She kind of took it and ran with it. She did a great job on it.
What's something that each of you has learned through this class?
I've learned that there's just so much more behind the initial stories. When I first started this class, I thought it was going to be a lot more straightforward. You find a story, you do the story, that's it. And this is my second time taking this class, and I have had so many times when I've had a story I originally thought was going to go one direction, and then it ended up completely pivoting, or I had to change directions and go with a different story. And every time it's ended up being better than I originally thought it would be. All of my stories, the more time and effort and the deeper I put into looking into them, and not just that basic surface level, this is what the story's about, but finding another story kind of underneath that, that's what really has made them turn into what they are.
For me, it's really been about all of the practical skills that I've acquired through this class. When I first took it and I saw that my team had to make this story that had all these different components in it, it was really daunting. But as you get into it and you start working on it and you start kind of refining these skills and interviewing and editing and all these practical skills, it becomes more feasible.
I think a skill that I've learned, or just something practical I've taken away from this class, is the importance of personal connection. I think a lot of stories that my group found were through people they knew or word of mouth. I think it's important that we don't always overlook that. A lot of times there's a lot of beauty and a lot of important things that are around us that we just don't see because we haven't thought to just reach out and ask someone.
The biggest thing I've taken from this class is growing in my leadership. When I first joined this class, I was too scared to talk to Billy, and now I'm the head editor of everybody in this class, and I've taken on so many different roles here, and it's pretty fascinating to see how much I've grown since joining in PJ1 and PJ2, and then getting into Rising Rock, being terrified of everybody in there, and then becoming the leader of it all. It's been something I could never replace with anything else.
And Billy, the skills and experiences that they're all talking about here, you've seen this again and again. They can take them anywhere after UTC.
Well, the goal of this class is not only to tell stories, but it's to create storytellers that are able to preserve history and to connect people to people in the Chattanooga area. I couldn't be more proud of this group and what they've accomplished. They are extraordinary reporters. It reaches way beyond audio stories. They do video, they write stories, they're photographers, they design social media, and they're digital marketers in this class. I think our last story, has over 800 views by 2 days. It's exciting to see what's happening here at the communication department at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
And beyond the showcase, which we air on Scenic Roots after the semester, and we post that audio online at our website, wutc.org. For people who want to keep up on everything at Rising Rock, where can they go online?
You can go to risingrock.net to find all of our stories. We publish audio, photo, video, written, everything is there.
All right. Miller, Connor, Alexis, Maya, Billy, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.